It's what a time to be even more dead. Counting down all the things that make you say, what a time to be even more dead. Now, here's your hosts, Patrick Monahan, Kill Boobadoro, and Scream Lie Booed in.
Folks, welcome to What a Time to Be Even More Dead, the only podcast that counts down the things each week that makes the thing that's titled the podcast. I'm Patrick Monahan.
I'm Scream Lie Boodin.
Now, Kill Boobadoro, as the guy says, is trapped in a haunted house, unfortunately. She inherited, she had the standard kind of eccentric rich uncle, you got to spend one night situation to inherit a creepy old home. So hopefully she gets out sometime soon. But that was Friday night, and she's still there. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
To be clear, she didn't inherit an actual like ghost haunted house. She inherited a performer you pay to go to at haunted house, but she is trapped in that. She's trapped in a classic. There's a guy with a chainsaw with no teeth on it that's been kind of just making sparks at her for about 48 hours. So.
Which is
cobweb indeed.
It's annoying, It's not like scary fear for your life, but over a long enough period of time, it's not. It's not. What
but we
want.
have a special guest who's being patiently waiting and censoring himself to join the convo, to join the conversation, like we're on X, the everything app. A return guest, one that's been, as we said, it's been too long. Everyone, please welcome Carey O'Donnell, or I guess Scary O'Donnell would be the easy one there.
Scary O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, yes.
I was thinking Scary O'Cronal.
Get in the crone. You're a big crone head.
I love crones.
I feel like crones have been a central part of
I've been the
many
crone since I was a
discussions I've had too. Yeah.
The Halloween 2020 pick had some crone vibe to it,
Oh yeah, just wearing a dress. That was so sad. My husband and I were like, "Let's go drive." It was a Saturday, and we were like, "Let's go drive."
That story and sent it to our chat. Yeah.
Oh, good.
To get us in the mindset.
Yeah, that was sad. It was a Saturday, and we were like, "There's got to be some spirit, happening." Like, I'm sure there's trick or treaters. So we got in our car in LA, which is what you do, and we drove to Hancock Park, which is a very like bougie, suburban-y part of the city. Tumbleweeds, like a piece of trash. No cars, no one, no decoration, not a soul in sight in LA on Halloween. And I was wearing a full dress and makeup and a wig. And I was like on the verge of tears because I was like, this is the end. This is the end. And it was it was such an LA moment because in New York, I'm sure even on Halloween then it was like there was something.
Yeah.
But in LA, it was just like wind tunnel.
God. Yeah. Well, I thought what really set the outfit off for me was like you had the dress and the makeup, but then you also had like bright blue Adidas boosts on. Uh-huh. So it was like you were getting like you'd ordered them secretly and you were planning to escape your cult and you were like, well, I'm gonna need active shoes, sensible shoes to run through.
And you were in like the checkout line at like a CVS or something. Is that where that was?
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Yeah.
7-Eleven. Oh, brother.
I'm a devout mom, but I'm a mom on the go, and it was no one. And that's a very cursed CVS on Sunset, and like there's a part of Sunset between Hollywood and like the Sunset Strip that is just like very liminal, and that doesn't like that. You see that on a normal day, what I was wearing.
Yeah, they're just not batting an eye.
No.
Yeah, you're a mom on the go. You're the actual use case for those like weird slim bags of house brand nuts they sell at 7-Eleven. You're buying the 7-Eleven cashews for your hungry child.
Yeah.
To feed to fuel him for his I
might be in an MLM.
Yeah, you sell leggings.
I'm a LuLaRoe girl.
just a trunk full of various MLMs. Everything. You got the kit, you got Cutco, you got leggings, you got do they even do Mary Kay anymore? Is that that's long gone?
I feel like that might be extinct, but I could be wrong.
It's just been taken over by Instagram. Now it's just they're the ones who sell. That would be great if they had like an old school someone knocking on your door to sell you like hair gummies and the big T-shirt.
I would love that.
Yeah, you probably don't. You're an in shape man. You don't get the big T-shirt. Everyone else on this podcast is haunted by the big T-shirt. Are you familiar with?
I wear big T-shirts,
but there's
these are like the big guy
quote, unquote,
T-shirt.
Big T-shirt. There's it's called.
It's like
True
hey,
Classic.
you fat slob, you should wear this shirt that is like supportive up top and also hides your belly.
But this is. It's not like in LA. I am like a non-entity because I remember walking into to get a suit into a really nice store. I was with my sister, and I had to get something for that night. And I walked in, and it was for men. So you'd think they'd have a lot of different size. I walked in and the guy went, "Oh, we won't have anything in your size." I was like, "Oh," because I think you have to be like a waifish twink boy.
Yeah. If anyone has not seen you before, doesn't know the entire time
like a
I've known
42
you,
jacket.
tall.
Like what could that even like?
It was
like a tall part completely slim man. Not,
but it was. I mean, no, I fluctuate. I mean, as I've been into my 30s, I'm grappling with gravity. But it was like a real in LA, you have to be another form.
And there's no give in any of these clothes. They're just stitched
and just the
no
certainty
margin for error.
Oh, we won't have anything in your size. And my sister was like, "You will."
I'll force myself into it.
Yeah.
I'll crawl out of the dressing room like a Silent Hill monster.
Yeah.
I will force
That's how I feel. I feel like I feel like Pyramid Head, walking when I'm in WeHo and I'm just walking amongst these men who have abs on their cheeks, on their face. I'm just I feel like I'm dragging a giant
knife
blade.
You should just start dragging around a rusty blade.
Speaking of guys with abs on their face, by the way, this is a Halloween rec for me. Hey, Carey, you probably have seen this. Have you seen Oddity?
No, I've toyed with watching.
Okay, it's pretty good. It's like an Irish horror movie. It's on Shudder and probably elsewhere. But there's a guy who is plays like an orderly in it. It's part of it takes place in a mental hospital. And he's I guess an Irish rock star or something, but he's got he has his cheekbones, but they his face does not look like a skull, but he has abs on his face is exactly what I would describe it as.
And it looks like they almost have gills, like that.
Yeah,
cheekbone.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pat, you're Irish, right?
I am, yes, and that's a rare Irish face for my. That's not an Irish American face. Put it that way.
But you and I, I mean, I'm pretty much fully we're both darker Irish in quotes.
Yeah.
But I have bags down to my tits.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
have Angela's Ashes potato peasant face.
Yeah, just famine face.
This is just me. You've had me on the podcast just to talk about the wreckage of myself.
That's what we're all about.
Myself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, by blood, I'm also Irish, so this is the Irish cast.
Right.
We're going to talk about how it's not okay to make fun of us, actually, or whatever.
This is the guy. His name is Steve Wall. This isn't even the most extreme version of his from the angle, but you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but he's got that. He's got the bags too. We've all got the bags.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Just very tired.
Wait, let me copy and paste this.
Let me pull this into Photoshop.
I'm pulling it into my my workflow.
Oh my god. Well, he's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's a good look.
He's a rock and roll guy. He does not play the best guy in this movie.
No.
So be careful, everyone.
There's some Irish horror coming out recently, I feel like.
Yeah, no, this. Well, it's the same director and I believe star. Yeah, Carolyn Bracken is the lead in this as "You're Not My Mother," which is really good.
I watched that.
Yeah,
that was great. I just watched a terrifying French-Canadian movie called Red Rooms.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
It is.
But it was
Shelby's in.
It is so
that's
scary.
A long ding too. Yeah, it was playing at a movie theater, like a little movie theater near me. But I was like, it was one where I wasn't even sure I wanted to see it in a theater, and it's almost like you don't want to be the guy who goes to see that in theaters because it's about red rooms. It's about like dark web snuff film stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like this really chic, high fashion model in Montreal who like trades Bitcoin all night and is like really hot and glam, but she's obsessed with this murder trial. This guy who's killed all these little girls on, which I didn't know these. Are they actually called red rooms?
I mean, it's a myth, though. People will say like, of course you think it's a myth because they won't let you see them. But yeah, it's like an internet creepypasta thing that there's red rooms on the dark web.
Well, she's going into them.
She's on them. She's on the Onion browser. She's on tour.
She gets fixated with this guy, and like it's her kind of descent into deep web things.
Okay. Well,
do you ever feel like we already have enough of our Canadian listeners mad at me for like a lot of stuff? Doesn't Montreal like kind of feel made up to you?
I've been there.
Oh, well, you would say that. See, this is all I was trying to.
We're part of the conspiracy. We're all on the take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Pat?
It was fun. I went for a bachelor party like 10 years ago, so we did whatever that got some poutine, went to some terrible nightclub, the classic things.
Bachelor party in Montreal, little maple Mardi Gras.
Yep.
I went a year after 9/11.
on flight 93, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I calculate everything from 9/11. So right now we're 23 years after 9/11. That's how I think about this year.
Mm-hmm.
I was
23A9.
We went on a school trip.
Wow.
I remember everyone bought lighters, and like the border was really intense because of 9/11. So they like came on and checked, and people were hiding their lighters. And I was like, why are you buying lighters?
Right. They don't have
That's
those.
just guy stuff, man. You gotta buy some lighters. Like Zippos or like disposable lighters?
Just
or
literally like
souvenir lighters.
Like souvenir light. And like this really cool girl was like, I'm gonna buy a lighter for my older sister so she can roast a nug. And I was like, okay. Cool.
I love those. I love when you hear something like that, and that sentence is now in your head for the rest of your life. You will never forget that.
Yeah, but I remember being like, "Wow, you're so cool." Cool. My older sister smokes, so I'm gonna get her a lighter. I'm like, she can literally go to 7-Eleven and get a lighter. Free.
Yeah. I feel like teens have like a weird thing with lighters because they're like sort of seem like something you're not supposed to have, even though no one gives a shit. So it's like you're in no danger, but you're like, whoa, that 13-year-old has a lighter. Why? And then it's like makes them mysterious. You're like, what are they lighting?
Yeah,
what
that's
are they
true.
roasting? Are they roasting nugs? Maybe.
Yeah, that is really true.
Mystery.
Hey man, I'll be right back. I gotta go roast a nug.
Roast a nug.
Pop a nug in my convection oven. Roast it up.
Yeah.
Get the party going. Yeah, well, okay. I'll admit the Montreal might be real, I guess.
Okay. See, we're making some progress.
Yeah.
That was like I feel like everybody did you ever visit Washington D.C. in 8th grade like everybody else did?
No. I mean, I went with like my parents brought me and my sister from New Jersey.
Wait, you went to Montreal on a school trip but not to D.C.?
Yeah.
That's really strange.
There's a Canadian school.
We went on a French and Spanish class. We took Spanish. We went for language, but I was like, I don't think anyone there speaks.
Right.
There's much Spanish being spoken in Montreal.
You were just allowed to go?
We were just allowed to go, and Yeah, it was a weird trip.
It's a place to learn about where they speak another language. It's like not the one you've been learning for a couple of years, but another one all the same.
Yeah. Just a teen, like a 14-year-old Carey speaking fluent Spanish in Montreal, and no one is listening to you.
We went to a flamenco class, so that was like to watch, and it was like that was the one bit of like Spanish.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how popular you were in high school, but like I'm just imagining if you're an unpopular kid in high school and you realize you're going to have to go to a flamenco class, I think you have that day circled on your calendars. Like, this might be the worst day I'm going to have.
Yeah.
I think in all of high school.
This is the day
because you're going to get picked to like demonstrate with the teacher. Like, I can play this whole scenario out in my head.
It's like, this is the night before I'm going to drink eye drops to make sure I'm sick tomorrow.
Yeah. But then they don't let you out because you've already done the eye drop trick, so then you just have diarrhea at the flamenco class.
I was not popular at the school in my town that I went to, but then I transferred to a school in Philly that was like a Catholic school, and I had like new kid cool.
They're like, who's this kid with big bags under his eyes? He seems... Who's this hot new crone that just transferred in?
Yeah.
Wonder what he did to get sent here.
Yeah, I could have been like, I made like a pipe bomb or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Which you would need a lighter for. People like if you'd brought a lighter, they would have been like, "That's probably for his pipe bomb." I heard he has. I heard he has a pipe bomb.
Is that how they work? You have to light them. Is there still? I guess there is, right? Pipe bombs. I don't know. I never really thought about them. I guess there must be.
I guess it's an option. This is definitely going to be the most like FBI listened to episode because we already talked about red rooms and pipe bombs.
Yeah. What other ingredients do you need? Let's just get a list going for small explosives.
Anarchist cookbook episode here. I had to look up for an article on Cracked, and I was like searching like on Google. I was typing like how to make fertilizer bomb for article for research because I was like, I'm gonna get my fucking door kicked in. I just needed to know. I was just curious.
Yeah, not in today's climate.
No. Global warming.
Mm-hmm.
No.
These Joe Biden supporters are as dangerous as they've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all wandering around,
with a candlestick.
Heading down to the polls with a candlestick,
a plate with a candle on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just see Biden like with like a little cap, like a little nightcap.
Yeah. You there? What day is it?
Totally.
Yeah. But he's the ghost of Christmas future. They're taking today's Biden back to like a nightmare of that 40-year-old Joe Biden is having to be like, you're going to kind of fade into public eye during your presidency because you're getting weird as shit.
I know.
This is how your hair is going to look.
Yeah. Your face is going to be pulled back.
Two of the weirdest hairs when they were still one-on-one. It was like just two really weird ways hair can be. Sort of like faded, antiquated hair plugs versus whatever, Trump has going on.
Biden soothed me simply because he reminds me of like the kind of grandpas that come around with the baskets during Catholic Mass to collect. And you can smell their blazer. You can smell that aftershave when they walk by you.
Yes.
It's very like,
you know what they don't have. I haven't been, they transitioned at some point in the church I would go to with my family for the holidays and stuff. They don't do the pole anymore. You know what I mean? They don't make they do like the handed basket. You know what I mean? Did you ever have the basket on the pole?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It comes by you and you just I mean, it's so fucking Catholics are so like we're so trying to get that money.
Yeah, it's very like we don't trust other people to handle the basket apparently. Yeah. But eventually, I mean, I guess I was going more in Florida because my parents were spending more time down there. And down there it's like they hold hands during like the Apostles' Creed. It's all like, it's way more frou-frou and kind of I'm not a fan. Way more
like this-
way more singing. So I want to get in and out in 40 minutes. You know, I don't need all this stuff. You know,
You like the sort of like stony East Coast mass.
Yeah.
Where it's like a little detached.
Yeah, I'm not like turn around and speak Latin, you know, level. I'm not pre-Vatican II here, but I don't need there to be singing for the entire time. That doesn't do anything for me. It just makes it longer.
I think my like first exposure to like true full-on Catholicism and like the pomp and circumstance was like I don't want to delve into personal life or whatever, but it was like your sister's wedding, Carey, wherever we went, and it was like they did everything.
They were,
and
it was in Latin.
Yeah, but they were speaking Latin, and then they were like very specifically making sure that I knew I was like that any Jews that were there couldn't take communion, and I was like, I get it. I don't like want the cracker, you know?
You go up and you do this, and they give you a little, quick little guy, and then you keep moving.
What a strange 24 hours. Like a very strict Catholic service and then a nightclub in Miami.
That I like fell asleep in.
Yeah. You were like, we can cut this out if you want, but it was like,
I'm 8 years sober. I can laugh at myself now, but I was
it was
out of
sweet.
control.
People came over and they were like, just
I was
like
wearing a
people we didn't know.
tuxedo.
Yeah, we were all in tuxedos except one guy who was in the military, so he had like medals and stuff on or whatever. He had like he wasn't like dress blues. But some people came over and they were like, "Hey, is this your friend?" And it was you, and you had like they were sitting in a booth, kind of like one of those VIP booths, and you were with them, and you were just had been talking about how happy you were for your sister, and you were just crying. And they were like, "Do you know this guy?" I was like, Yeah. So it was very
good.
sweit.
That's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't, but...
And then they just let me sleep, I think.
Yeah, you did curl up at one point. It was
cozy.
very chaotic. And then I went back to the hotel I was staying at, which was attached to a Pizza Hut, and put my tuxedo in the closet. I got ready to go home.
That was a good stint.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Yeah, we got to do number 5. We've been reminiscing.
It's true.
The writing sessions of both me and Carey being so deeply hungover that I remember. Really.
Yeah. Just Eli's typing and me pacing around.
Yeah. Just pacing around, like trying to get like a couple words into final draft so you can go smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iconic, I think, honestly. Big
They were.
formative point.
For sure.
Number 5, sorry. Number 5.
Number 5 comes to us from Fog Sim in the Discord, and this is an interesting story about this is basically I didn't know what this was referring to, but now I know what this word means. I guess paramotorist, who is a guy who's paragliding, but I guess it's like got like the fan so you can control it. Paramotorist finds dog chasing birds on top of the Great Pyramid of Giza. So, like the pyramids are really high and really big, and there was just a dog up there, a random dog, and I guess he ran all the way up, which, dogs have a lot of energy, I suppose. Like
a Jack Russell.
Yeah.
This is an omen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That feels
Absolutely.
truly cursed.
I mean, that's Anubis, I guess, right?
Yeah, dogs are like... Oh, I'm freaked out.
Yeah, because that would be Anubis, right? The jackal head is the closest. I mean, the cat is very high in Egyptian reverence, so a dog is the opposite of the cat, as everyone knows. So it's not great. It doesn't look great. Also, I'd say a paramotorist, like you're saying, like it's a hang glider with a fan. That is a flying machine. That's what I consider that. That is a man who is piloting a flying machine, like something out of Da Vinci's notebooks.
Yeah, that's true. It does give off that kind of Like
you might as well.
It's a contraption,
corkscrew helicopter. Yeah, he's a contraption. He's really.
This whole scenario is unsettling to me. There was a period a few years ago in LA where someone out at LAX, there was a guy on a jetpack being spotted, like interrupting flights. He was like flying around, and it was like there were a few sightings of him, and that freaked me out.
That's
So I was
not.
like,
Yeah.
who is doing this?
Right. Was that considered to be like a guy being threatening, or was it like a quirky, like, weird guy? Like, what was
Probably a quirky, weird guy, but that just like that stuff makes me think like, I don't know. It's like that reminds me of like that photo where it looks like that guy's on a cell phone back in like 1900.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that stuff. I can't access that because that takes me down like a really dark hole.
There was one
The
not too long ago I
Observers.
saw that was like, it was like a guy like, why is this guy holding an iPad? It's like he's not holding an okay.
I know.
Yeah.
He's holding a square. It's all they had back
Did you say the Observers?
Yeah, the observers. They're watching. They're making sure all they're at all of the world's biggest events.
Yeah.
I like saying this as if it's just part of like common knowledge. Like
Oh
it's
yes,
just
the
a role.
Observers.
Right.
The
Yeah.
observers.
And
Yeah.
they're all bald and they're wearing fedoras. We all know this.
This is from the show Fringe, but I'm going to talk about it as if it's part of American history.
That's right.
Yeah.
They've always been there. Liza does not
Yeah.
like the discussion of the Observers. She's barking now.
No,
I don't like
bet
that
she
either. That
doesn't.
really scares. That's like the gentleman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I never watched Buffy.
Google the gentleman from Buffy. It's from a really famous episode called Hush.
I think I never like watched.
Oh,
Buffy because
I don't care for these guys. I don't like this face.
Very Slender Man.
Yeah, there are guys like this in Doctor Who also. I believe there's like this is like a type of
Yeah,
a
but
type
it's
of guy
Doctor
from
Who.
those from the. Well, right, that is a largely
so they're
a show
probably
for
in like
children.
a fucking spirit Halloween mask, being like, "I'm from planet blah blah blah," or
That's
whatever.
right. This is the scariest thing you've ever seen. It looks like it's it looks like Eric Adams, the NYPD robot or whatever, the MTA robot.
Has that?
rolling around?
Are those in New York?
No, they
They-
decommissioned it. I think almost immediately.
Yeah, they very loudly launched it, very quietly shut it down. Did it get shoved on the tracks? It got defaced.
I don't
for
think
sure.
it got shoved on the tracks, but I could be.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be bigger.
Oh, looks like okay. Well, that's cool. One of the gentlemen was Doug Jones, who we all respect a great deal. A good face guy. All right. So yes. This dog. I
I was
guess
gonna say the gentlemen look like the Mask, if that makes them less scary.
they
to
look
you.
like. Well, they look like when.
No, that
yeah,
makes it more scary.
they look like when. Yeah. When the bad guy got the mask. Well, I forget the character's name.
Oh, that guy with the green eyes.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, the
earring.
guy who's like alternate Cillian Murphy. He's like Cillian Murphy, but then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, he's not.
Peter
He's got
Green. It's
eyes.
Peter Green. It's Zed.
Lizard
Yes.
Cillian
From Pulp
Murphy.
Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that is what the gentleman look like. The gentleman. Don't check him out. If you see him, it's already too late. I assume.
Yeah.
They also are wearing ska band outfits.
Yeah, it's like a episode where the whole town, everyone wakes up and no one can speak, and then they come at night and steal people's hearts out of their beds. They like open their chests so no one can scream.
Okay.
So that was a formative episode for me.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's
Locked
not,
in.
It's not what you
When
want.
I watched that, I was like, I am gay.
Whatever this is.
I know it now.
Yeah.
So
Was
I-
it the part where the gentleman looked directly at the screen and said, "You are gay"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was when they went,
Yeah, Carey is turning his head and kind of doing a hand motion, a wavy hand
gentleman
motion.
hand motion.
Yeah, so I guess this the people you can just rent these like paramotor things, paragliding tours,
contraptions?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would do that, but you can't climb the pyramid. So if you need to see the top, I guess you get up on one of these things. I would not. I personally would not do this. I'm not super.
way.
I'm not. You're high up enough to see the top of the pyramid. Hey man, I got to make an insurance claim because I'd shattered both of my legs because this engine on this thing broke when I was at the top, and it kind of
I wasn't pedaling fast enough, and the corkscrew wasn't spinning.
Yeah.
Right.
my femur is no more.
Well, your problem here is you weren't blowing hard enough into the bellows.
Yeah.
You don't have the lung capacity.
R.I.P. Patty, he died in one of the machines from Wacky Races trying to see the top of the Great Pyramid.
Right. And very disrespectful. The dog laughed like Muttley at the end, which is very messed up.
Yeah. Renting the Dragula to go see the top of the Great Pyramid.
Yeah.
That's so uncanny.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I
You
guess,
like it.
I just think it's funny that it's like no one can get up there, and then there's just a dog up there barking at birds. It's like, so that dog just like climbed up there like today, just kind of trotted up. It's like, because each step is like as tall as the dog too. So this is like I mean, obviously they have like unlimited energy basically if they're not like super old. So, but shout out to this dog. I hope he got some birds.
Yeah. What if the dog had human teeth?
That would be even worse.
Cracked a smile as you like looked up at you, and like the sun was gleaming on its human teeth.
And now we're back to the mask. It was the dog from the mask who got up there. He's got a lot of energy.
Oh boy, that was crazy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because it's dangerous. I don't, like not the Great Pyramids, but the ones like Tenochtitlan and like in the the Maya. Yeah, people fall on those and they die. Like, I think they don't, like, it definitely happens not infrequently. I know somebody who knew someone who, which sounds like bullshit, but like, those big pyramids, they're all steps. You just go down.
He was just supposed to start. He was on a trip celebrating his. He's about to start his job at Nintendo, and he passed away. No, that is, I mean, that makes sense. You could trip and then you're not really too close to any kind of medical care at that point. So that's not ideal. Yeah, I don't know. I was never very adventurous, but I do feel like, this happens when I watch horror movies too. It's very like, just don't put yourself in don't put yourself in any kind of situation. That's really all, I'm staying out of scenarios if at all possible. That's kind of where I've gotten to now.
Do you like? Are you? I know you like horror movies, Pat, but do you get like affected by them?
Yes and no. By the end of last, we watched Oddity last night. By the end of that, I mean, there's like the opening is very. Yeah, that's what I'm like.
That's the Oddity.
That's the Oddity. He makes that sound. Yeah, I mean, but it opens very strong. There's like a very tense opening scene. And then it kind of builds back up, and we were kind of just in bed, like, looking at our phones or whatever in between things, and not like super, but we were watching it on a projector screen. And by the end, we were both like, "Oh no, I hate this. I hate what's happening right now." Like, it was very tense. So it definitely grabbed me for sure. By the end,
maybe I'll watch it tonight.
I'm more of a. I don't get like.
You don't have any things that are like. There's one or two things that like in a movie are your number one. Like, oh, this really scares me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably like The Dark, which sounds very childish, but like anything where it's like you're looking at like an open door and it's black outside, it's very
that's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't care for that, and this movie like takes place at like a remote, like, I got cell service in one place, like unrefinished house, and for me it's just like, why did you do this to yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Hey, I'm spending the night at the house in a tent, so that's that's
a threshold for you.
You can't do that, but
that's how I felt about that lady from Longlegs, the FBI agent. Micah Monroe.
Yeah.
She's like a murder serial killer FBI agent. I'm like, why did you buy this house? It's surrounded by deep woods on three sides.
It was cool.
What are you doing?
That was the scariest part of the movie for me.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, though. When he walks by, everyone in my theater laughed. It was just kind of doing the, like, R. Crumb, like, like, keep on trucking walk, like, through the background.
He was hysterical.
Let him in now, and it could be nice.
Yeah.
My thresholds are like, this is very like obvious, but like if like a baby's in peril or a dog, I'm out. And I don't like family. Dog. I also don't like family home invasion, like families being
the strangers
tortured together, like Funny Games.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
I never saw the original Funny Games, but the remake, I remember being like, it's not like scary, it's not like a horror movie. It is, but it's like. But I remember when he gets the remote, like I got so fucking mad. I was like, why am I watching this? This is like designed to make people get up and leave. You know what I mean? Which I guess it probably was, but it's just like, this sucks. Like, I can't believe I watched this.
It's a punishing movie, but I think he wanted to punish.
Yeah, sure. which is fine. It's just like, yeah, I don't know why I put myself through that. But
Michael Pitt, another eerie-eyed man, another real sees into the spirit world eyes sort of thing.
Murdered by Numators
with him.
And Brady Corbett, who directed Vox Lux.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, I don't think I knew he became a director after that. Huh.
He has a new movie coming out called The Brutalist with Adrian Brody that's apparently really good.
I thought for a second you were going to say Grenier, and I was really excited.
Adrian Grenier.
Grognon.
They played the Entourage theme at the Met game last night, which is very funny.
Yeah. Adrian Grenier, most famous for Entourage and paying photographers to take photos of him giving homeless people money. I think that was his thing for a while.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That is wild.
Oh, brother.
Should we do number 4?
He's just living in the moment. Yeah, let's do number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4. This comes to us from the Big Ten Bagman in the Discord. Shout out to the Big Ten Bagman. And this is a story about huge piece of shit confirmed at this point, I'm pretty sure. Russell Brand, he's still around. So he was a sex creep, right? And got canceled. He
was allegedly, yes. There was
a sex creep.
There were a lot of allegations.
There are a lot of allegations. Let's say that. There are a lot of allegations against Russell Brand. And he pivoted like really weirdly hard and keeps to the point where everyone was like, stopped. It was like, what is going on? But he's gone even further because he was a born again Christian guy. That was his thing for a while.
It happened not even for a while, for like 2 months, because it only just happened. I feel like,
yeah.
But yes,
he went getting baptized.
He went from like
he went from being
like
a little diaper,
Mr. Like, he was almost like another Ricky Gervais type, like to some extent, like his point of view on things, and then he basically became like a straight up, like a kind of a wacko, and then now. He's like leading prayers at Tucker Carlson's live show or something, which is just like so on its face ridiculous. But hey, here we are. We live in a wonderful,
that's hell,
wonderful world.
And and then so this is he has now gone full just insane. Right, just not even really right, just like next level, woo-woo.
It's like conspiracist and like sort of wellness, because that's
wellness
all kind of
Christianity.
That's all like jumbled up now. Yeah,
you're so right.
He's he was baptized. Sorry, this is just a note in this article. He was baptized by Bear Grylls in April.
Man, that's cool.
Fuck Bear Grylls. Fuck that man. I don't trust him.
Bugs.
He's baptized with piss, right? Isn't that Bear Grylls' whole thing?
Piss on his face.
That's not his whole thing, but that's
the
only thing I know about. He's like the survivalist guy, right? I don't really know much else about
it. He takes celebrities out and like President Obama and like takes them to like stone quarries in Portugal and they like talk about fear.
And he eats like a maggot and then Obama's like, that's wild, like, or whatever, but yeah, Russell Brand it sucks because the thing that like killed his career was they were like, they stay in hotels at night sometimes, and I was like, yeah, but he's still drinking all that piss, like, he's still doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, Russell Brand's newest thing is he's appearing in an advertisement for an magical amulet. It's basically an extension.
You say magical amulet, you have my attention, but something tells me this will not be the kind of magical amulet I'm interested in.
Yeah,
which is cursed. You're interested in cursed. Magical
that's the whole point. The allure of it, you can't avoid the curse, but there's something that is there. There's something that appeals to you so you put it around your neck. I mean, we all know this.
A good magical amulet shouldn't have to advertise at all. It should have the pull. Right. The pull should do the job.
Everyone who gets the magical amulet, that's cursed says, I will never fall under the thrall of the amulet. But they all do. That's what they're there for. We all know this.
Yeah. There should be a light scratching coming from the amulet, like something's tinkling, the tinkling of a skeleton hand on the
maybe it's going to turn into
surface.
maybe it'll just turn into a scarab and, crawl in under your eye or something. You know,
Uh-huh.
It's possible.
It should have like should have like a throbbing pulse that can't be heard with like on a human register.
Yeah. You have to drop it, like drop the frequency. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate because like the only way to really test a magical amulet to see if it's real is to break it and see if smoke comes out. But then if you do, it's like a witch trial. It's like, well, now we know, but
Yeah.
So he's like shilling. He's shilling for like big amulet.
Yeah, for something. It's like a magical amulet from some company called Airs Tech, and it's and it's hard to tell because I think the commercial is satirical, but the product is not, and his endorsement of it is not.
Does he call it an amulet, or is that just a description of it? Does he say the word amulet? Because you can't say amulet and be expected to be taken, seriously. I guess he's only appealing to the people that already kind of.
That's true.
Listen to him.
Yeah, I think it's a charm. I think by the people who produce it, and it is a real product,
right?
Like they market it as like a necklace charm. He's taken a little poetic license to market it as an amulet, but it's still bullshit. I mean, it's one of these like EMF. It's a lot of Wi-Fi. It's a lot to stop Wi-Fi from going through you, which is such a funny fear that Wi-Fi is going through you.
I'm seeing the video now. He's talking about how there's too many phone signals and all that, and this is a TikTok video that presumably is being filmed on a phone, but I guess he doesn't have to worry about that because he has the amulet, as we know. It's a necessary evil in the world, is these phones that cause all the things they cause. So
yeah.
Did you see MIA has been shilling like a
cloak?
It almost looks like it's like a chainmail cloak thing that protects you from like 5G.
Yeah.
So I think people are leaning in. I think sort of canceled, formerly like iconoclasts are leaning into like magicians.
Leaning into auras.
It's
but scientific auras.
It's a lane for sure to take.
Yeah. Do you think if Trump loses, he'll start shilling for like things?
I think he will. I think
shilling.
he will if he wins while he's president. He'll do it.
He's selling that.
He's doing it now. He's got the crypto.
He's selling that.
exchange.
He's been selling that bear.
He's got the watches, which are like $100,000 or something insane,
funny.
and they're supposed to be Swiss, but they're made in like a strip mall in Wyoming or something. Of course, I saw like a headline. I mean, like no
Swiss
shit,
movements,
obviously, but
oh my god,
yeah,
and. I mean, that wasn't him, but we covered that on the podcast, right? He didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think, but those like fake dollar bills that had his face on them and said they were legal tender.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well,
and people tried to use them. People took them to banks, and banks were like, what the fuck are you talking? Like,
I feel like the only reason
that's coming.
He would have a problem with any of that is that he's not getting his cut, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Because hello. You have the chance to win a special, this is legal tender with Donald Trump after with the bloody face after he fought for us, or man. It's like $500 for a Trump bucks or something. Yeah, it's like
that image. I saw that. I don't want to get political in your pod, but I was on the 101 yesterday, and there was a giant flag on a big pickup truck in front of me that was like the size of me, with Trump's holding the fist up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. And then I ordered DoorDash last night, and when I answered the door, the guy had a shirt with him. And I was like, whoa. LA is a very surprising place.
I feel like LA. I was like, I almost, because I think you posted on Twitter and Instagram, and I was like, this is just not a fun thing to I was like, I feel like LA is like low key very conservative.
LA is really conservative. People think California is very conservative. Like people
like to think LA is
like a socialist, like Sodom and Gomorrah, but like other than SF and LA, like California is pretty red. Like I don't think people understand.
Have you seen? I feel like, Carey, if you don't know, you'd really enjoy something we enjoy. There's a subreddit called DoorDash Gremlins.
No.
Where it's pictures. You know, sometimes the DoorDash person has to take a photo of you.
Oh,
to prove, and it's just like, so it's just a subreddit full of people standing like a little gnome with like a bag of Chick-fil-A
or like just one eye
with their eyes glowing like they're a dog or something, because it's like in nighttime with a flash or whatever. Looking like Dobby with getting your treats.
I
DoorDash
holding a
Starbucks.
hamburger like a lantern.
Yeah. I DoorDash Starbucks once, and someone took one of the, and I was like, holding the bag, and I posted it to Twitter because I thought it was just really, I looked really dumb, and it was funny to me. And some like cool Gen Z person reposted me and went, "Wow, DoorDashing Starbucks is the biggest loser behavior I've ever seen." And then like all these like people were like piling on and like, yeah. And then I saw some like cool comedians were reposting it, and I was like, okay, guys. Mama, I know I looked like a loser. Like, I posted it because I looked like a loser. And then I was like, oh God, have I reached that point where I'm old and like cringe?
The answer to that, if you're asking that question, the answer is always yes, I feel like.
Yeah, you weren't posting it with like a genuine comment that's like,
proud.
got my daily fix.
I was like, this is sad. Like, I'm literally a sad man wearing Birkenstocks holding up a bag of Starbucks that I could have literally just walked to. Like, I'm a piece of shit. And like, and some cool Gen Zer, I was like, fuck, they got me.
Yeah,
they got me.
Birkenstocks are real. Birkenstocks are either like you're a hippie, or they have an air of defeatism to them where you're just like,
totally, yeah.
They mold to your feet. They're very comfortable.
They're so not. Great. If you have flat feet, I'll give a warning, because I bought some because I'm being defeated day by day, and I was like, I can walk the dog in these. If you have flat feet, they're really uncomfortable because they're made to fit a healthy foot and not one that
slaps like a
that every part of my foot touches the ground when I'm standing up.
Seal flipper.
Like. If I get out of a pool, you can see like every wrinkle, and it's just I get out of a pool and there's just a series of circles, perfect round circles walking away from the pool.
Oh my God.
So they hurt my foot a lot, but they were on sale, so I can't return them. So
keep them.
Yeah. Anybody want a pair of weird Birkenstocks? Yeah. So this amulet.
Don't say that. People will buy them, Eli.
Yeah. Look at them. I've only worn them once. They're not juiced up yet.
Don't care for that.
Well, that's what those shoes do. And for like, to wear them in, I'm like, yeah, your body gets the leather all, I don't know. Anyways, amulet. Yeah, it's this classic bullshit that happens now where it's like, oh, it's 5G and Wi-Fi. Like, I don't know. Like, Wi-Fi is funny to me. The people are like, the Wi-Fi is going through my body, and it's like, well, Wi-Fi is radio waves. So you've been, if you think that's bad for you, you've been fucked since, they were broadcasting the Lone Ranger. Like, we've got generations of whatever that would do to you gone through you.
It's a real long shot, I think.
It's only $240, so I mean, it's worth it for the risk. Is it stylish looking?
Can you guys buy it for the pod and write it off?
Yeah,
we could. Yeah, let's see. Right. We'll each wear it for a week and report back and see if we felt better.
Okay.
What is it? So apparently he's not the only celebrity endorser. The captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs also posted a testimonial about this. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, those are like, you get any professional athlete into some superstitious. I mean, it's like all those baseball players who wear like magnets. They're like covered in magnets because they're like, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, like the bracelets and the right.
Yeah, they have like magnet necklaces and magnet wrists and whatever.
Does Aaron Rodgers play football or baseball?
Football.
And he's all badly. Like woo woo, right?
Yeah, he was like eating dirt for a while.
Nice.
And he was dating Shailene Woodley, and she was feeding him clay.
Queen, my clay queen.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of, but that's how I feel. Like, if there's anybody that deserves to be superstitious, it's professional athletes. It's like when people make fun of like, football players or whatever, being like, I just want to thank God, like first and foremost. And it's like, he should. You see how strong he is. Like, yeah, like if You were just made the strongest person that anyone's ever seen. Why not thank some sort of entity?
HP.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't buy this. It looks like kind of classic. Like
I'm gonna
tech
get you
bullshit.
it,
It's just
Eli.
a little square. All right, thank you. Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
send it to
Good
you.
for Hanukkah. 8,
Yeah.
one for every night. I'm gonna
Okay.
stack them. Look
All
like
right.
Mr. T if like surrounded by a Faraday cage, an invisible
Yeah.
Faraday cage, like a yonder pouch or whatever. You know.
I think this company also sells like, it looks like it's like a thing you stick on your phone that I guess somehow protects you, but it looks like it's like it has like a sigil on it. So it's like, but they're saying it's science backed, but it also has it looks like something you would doodle in your notebook when you're like really into like fantasy. You know what I mean?
This is
When
straight
you're
out
drawing
of
that
Evil.
S. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just straight out of the show Evil. One of the 72 houses is focused on this.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
What is this thing supposed to do? It just absorbs all the stuff, I guess, right? What else could it do?
I mean, like, if someone's buying this, like, you don't need to go, you know?
Well, I know,
like,
but in theory, they have to give some kind of like brief explanation
just
of what it does.
repel.
I don't like
I think the word repel does a lot of work.
Oh,
for
okay,
them.
this is good.
Yeah.
One of these things has this is one of the amulets, the effective coverage diameter of 32 feet. So you only need one, in your area, basically. So as long as one of your friends or family members that you're with has one, you're all kind of
Wow.
you've got like a dome around you. So that's cool.
I'm going to sue someone for bringing me into their Faraday cage.
And,
I'm going to say I didn't get an important text because someone's wearing an amulet around me.
You're right.
You should get an alert on your phone.
My sleep has improved, and I wake up without a headache. Oh, this is depressing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's waterproof. This is one of the FAQs. Yes, it is waterproof, although we don't recommend having it submerged for long periods of time. So
Okay.
Why does it matter? It's a piece of... there's nothing in there.
you can't-
There's
you can't take it
one
off.
grain of rice in there so that it rattles when you shake it, and that's
Yeah.
it.
You can't take it off, so you can't take it off when you go in the pool because then you're at risk of. I guess you could put it next to you at the pool as long as you're within the radius, right? I guess that's true.
You could float a couple on buoys throughout your pool.
Yeah.
And get a vibe, a field going.
Put it on your
Yeah.
keys. Put it on your keychain. I guess you could also do. There's a lot of options here. I'm going to look more into this.
He was always primed for amulets.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's always wearing like things.
Yeah, just purely from an aesthetic perspective, yes, he's it's not a leap to see him, adding a different type of jewelry.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was-
believe he's real. Like, I can't believe that he was like taken seriously.
I opened for him once
Wow.
at Eastern Michigan University after winning a contest.
When you were in college?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He was, as they say, he was nice enough to me. He didn't watch my set, but
Damn.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
he
backstage.
just read the newspaper on stage for like an hour.
I was gonna say, like, I guess even at the peak of his, I guess I didn't realize he was touring in the U.S. I mean, I guess if he's just,
yeah, I mean,
people just yelling,
forgetting
"Get him to the
Sarah
Greek!
Marshall.
Get him to the
Yeah.
Greek!"
I guess he was funny in that.
In Marshall, yeah, I mean, definitely, but yeah, and then
But
get
yeah,
him,
he's just a very embarrassing human.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well,
We
he's-
gotta-
he's in God's hands now, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, you'd also enjoy the bonus episode where we get a little more dog chat and we also talk about how blowing up horse carcasses is apparently a standard practice for park rangers. And they can't do it anymore because of a specific problem.
We also do our regular episodes with no ads on the Patreon feed, so definitely check it out, patreon.com/whatatimepod.
We're chatting away. We've been just chatting,
Yeah.
enjoying, but we got to rip through these stories a
Okay.
little
Yeah, we
bit.
got a few more. Let's go to the next one.
Next one.
Number 3.
Number 3 comes to us from Wet Bigfoots in the Discord, and this is a story about vacuum robots, robot vacuums, and this is a company, Ecovacs is the company, and their vacuums were hacked, and they noticed them acting strangely, and it turns out that I guess this guy opened up the app for his vacuum and found out that a stranger was accessing his camera feed and remote control feature. And then he reset it to try to fix it because there was kind of weird sounds coming out of the speaker. He couldn't tell what it was. When he reset it, it fixed the speaker, and it was very clearly somebody screaming racist obscenities over and over again. So that's where
that's just like
inevitably went.
Always.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Just running around your apartment. Was it at least vacuuming? At the very least, was it vacuuming, or did you turn the vacuum
I'm turning off the vacuum function. This is just the drive around and yell slurs function.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just pushing around dirt with its little brush.
That is so it's so predictable.
Yeah.
It's just like,
why does it have a camera that you can like?
I don't know.
It should have a camera that you can like that for the purposes of the device to like see walls and stuff is one thing, but the idea that a camera function that you can like look at like your camera while your little guy rolls around like that. Yeah. If that gets hacked, this person could, if the guy didn't yell a bunch of slurs, he wouldn't even know that he was hacked. That could just follow him around his house and watch him.
He would have a complete layout of your house, but only from like 1 foot up. It would be like maybe this was a group of mice casing his house. They were like, this is Jerry.
And this is why it's so cool. That everything is connected to the internet now.
Yeah.
And they just feel like they have to do that.
Do you guys
I
have
love that.
those like delivery carts in New York?
The little robots, we don't.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
all over LA, and I'm waiting for something like that to happen.
What happens if you break one? Like if you kick one over? Do they just send you a letter that you have to pay for it or something?
Well, they used to have like an employee, like an Amazon employee or something, like hovering behind, but now they're fully rogue. I don't know how they deal with that, because I have to say, when I saw one of them once, I was driving down Hollywood Boulevard near the Walk of Fame, and I saw one of them gingerly inch its way into a crowd of like bro looking guys, and I got nervous for a second for the thing. Like and I was like,
no, those guys are trouble.
No, I was just like, I started getting really depressed imagining this little thing like getting like heckled or something, and then I was like, this is how they win.
Yeah.
So I've been.
That is how they
put big googly eyes on it.
Yeah. Well, that was like on the thing you're talking about, the things that were on like the Mulaney show, right? Like the guy who was giving everyone snacks.
Yeah, they're
the guy, the robot, the yes.
And they have
like
they all have a name on. They're like, one of them's like, I always see one name in my neighborhood named Camille, or no, Camilla.
Camilla.
Yeah,
giving them names is you can't do that.
They look
that's
like
not allowed.
They look like little
like
coolers, right? They're like little coolers with wheels.
yeah, and they have little headlights on them, and at night they glow. And my dog hated them at first, and now he's desensitized to them, which makes me depressed.
Yeah,
like he just sees them as like things passing by now, and it's just very odd.
Yeah, we've fully broken.
It's sad.
I mean, yeah, I think they're like. I was just thinking about the camera thing, where I was like, I think cameras have gotten too cheap, almost, because I bought a webcam to watch my dog when I'm not here. And it was like
smart.
$20, and it has night vision. And I was like, am I even allowed? Like, I obviously know it's not, but I was almost like, don't you need to be
not for military use.
to buy night vision? Like, and it's crazy to watch. Like, sometimes at night, when all the lights are out, I'm just like watching her in IR, like I'm, fucking Delta Force.
Yeah. It's very, we have it too, and it's very, like one of like the same thing, cheaper camera, and it's like we're viewing the creature, because she's like, her eyes are glowing and she's green, and it's like the creature is contained. And,
she has a little cave because she likes to burrow, and then I'm like watching her through night vision, and she pokes her head out of the cave like Saddam Hussein. She's just like, and I'm like, go, move in, target. It's.
I need to get that for Mango.
Oh yeah, I'll send you that. And then I would say, I don't even want to plug it, because that's the only reason that I like hate the one I got, because it's owned by Amazon, which is like, oh cool, good. Which is like why I'm glad I have it pointed at basically my floor, because
the
creator
governments,
yeah. But
I would just like to say 0 bark 30
Yeah.
My dog sleeps with me, so I don't really need. I don't have like I guess if I just go out when I'm out of the house, but I almost don't want to know what he's doing. I like mystery.
When we're out for a long time, we leave her in the crate, so we know it's more just like is she rattling. But like those days,
it's smart to have
suddenly
one.
being like, does she have to go? Like those days are kind of over. Thankfully, she's almost 2, so like we're kind of past that. But like, the first time we went to the movies, I remember when she was like a pup, we were just like, oh shit, she's up, she's touching the bucket, like what's going on? And then she went back to sleep, and we were like, thank God.
Yeah,
the bucket.
She has her little like water bucket inside the crate door.
Like, you made her go to the bathroom in a bucket.
She gets to rattle it like she's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah,
she's like
along
ding,
the
ding,
bars.
ding, ding.
Yeah. She's flipping,
nice
doing that thing with a coin that everyone tried to learn when I was in high school. Yeah.
But yeah, so these things got hacked. It sounds like they didn't have the best security. I don't. The guy seems pretty, he's like, yeah, it could have been worse. It's like, that's true. It could have been worse. It's still pretty bad. Company probably apologizing quite a bit. I've never heard of this company, Ecovac. I don't know. Do they only do this?
There's a bunch of knockoffs. It's like the Amazon thing. It's like, there's just a lot of cheaper Roomba things that,
right.
If you go on Amazon, like we've talked about, you get the like you panic and then it's just a injection molded copy of what you're actually trying to buy.
Right. What brand is that? Oh, it's a
Yeah,
it's
all consonants.
K's, X's, and L's.
Elder god names.
Really good.
Yeah. Well, this makes me feel way better about the fact that I was just talking to my parents and they're like, they need to replace their stove, and apparently all the stoves now are connected to Wi-Fi. I'm like, cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
For what?
No, I don't know why. And I told them, I was like, don't
is everything
get that.
Have like everything's going to be connected to AI for some reason? Like, why is this being forced on everyone?
They're gonna AI's gonna do a gas leak while we're all sleeping.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need Sam Altman deciding if my house blows up or not. While I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Damn.
The only person who decides if my house blows up or not are all the other people who live in apartments in my building who have gas stoves.
That's exactly right. That's the only way. That's how we all live. Okay. Everyone's in it together. Okay. As far as that's concerned.
Yeah. Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is also me. I remembered. This one comes to us from the average Ghost Bee, which is pretty good in the chat. In the Discord rather. So this is an important health warning for everybody. And it's I know there's we got a lot of breakdancers that listen to the show.
The Jabberwockies all listen.
Never been more popular than it is now. And you can get hurt breakdancing. These people are doing a lot of, this is physically very impressive stuff. There is a condition in particular that's worth pointing out that I guess has been described in particular in the British Medical Journal. One case required surgery, and it's something called a head spin hole or breakdance bulge. And that's you get you can either lose hair or gain a bump or from spinning on your head from just doing like the classic spinning on your head breakdancing move.
Yeah. You look like those people like in Egypt when they would like lengthen their skulls to look more dignified.
Like King Tut.
Yeah. King Tut was so fucked up. King Tut was so sick.
A German survey or study
he was really sick.
He was ill.
Look it up.
He was not well.
He was not doing well.
He had like 2 club feet and a really long head and lived for like 16 years or something.
Yeah, he was not long for this world.
And he sounded like the guy from the Death Grips.
Yeah. King Tut was in the Death Grips.
He looked nothing like the guy from Stargate.
Mm-hmm. No, not Jay Davidson. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So they're like evolving into a different form.
Well, for now they're just getting hurt, apparently.
Okay.
But I guess. Okay, here's a couple things. A study in 2009 in Germany, 106 breakdancers found that 60% of them experienced overuse injuries to the scalp, which, yeah, I think any use of the scalp would qualify as overuse. I don't know what the use of scalp is other than just to sit there and grow hair. Not a whole lot else. Cover your skull.
If
not
it
a whole
even
else
does that.
required. If it even does that, right? Exactly. Well, Eli, this is something you don't have to worry as much about.
I got a head spin. I've got a spot ready for rotation.
Eli, let's go to Turkey.
Let's go. I've looked at it, but I looked something up at one point, and they were like, so there's bald chat. There's like different patterns that you bald in. It's very dark. They have like a scale for it, the Norwood scale or something. And I looked it up, and it was like I found the one that's the way I'm balding, and they were like, this is the one that like can't be surgically repaired. And I was like, fascinating.
You're beyond help.
You're rocking it though.
Yeah, I'm just saving a lot of money on shampoo.
You're too high tea. It's simply
my tea is out of control. I should market it. Spit on amulets and sell it.
If
to
you ever
low-T
do get it
individuals.
fixed, you have to. I think a key part of like just suddenly having a full head of hair when you did not have hair before is to just never acknowledge it to the point of driving everyone around you completely crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, that's pretty. It's like, what are you talking about?
Like everyone in the pandemic, when people got their legs lengthened during the pandemic and then walked back into the office on stilts and were like, "What's up, fellas?"
Well, yeah. I mean, this is why like I don't like the way that my gray is coming into my beard. Like it's kind of I would prefer it to be more.
Why? It's very dignified. I think
less
It is
focused on the
it's very
mustache.
stately.
Because I would like us to still have like a lot of contrast with like in the mustache in particular. But I can't do anything about that because otherwise I'm like brushing in dye and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and
do that.
It just feels like it's not. I'd have to like shave my face and then grow it back and then dye, like, and figure out some way to do it.
Yeah, look
And I
like
was
the Stack and Days guy. Get that kind of beard going.
I had like a brief like moment of insanity like a few weeks before the wedding when I was like, should I like, I don't know. I mean, the guy who cuts my hair was like, we could like, there's like stuff you could do, like, it was not, and I was like, well, does it really look like it's going to match the color and stuff? And when he was like, don't do that, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Let me tell you,
like,
don't do that.
Poorly dyed beard for the first time ever in my wedding photos. That's a good recipe for success.
I tell you what, though, if I got the turkey surgery and got it put in, dude, I wouldn't like do the thing where I try to pass it off, where I just keep it short. I'd immediately grow it. I'd look like a fucking man of Gondor, dude. I'd have long, flowing shoulder length hair.
I would
up to the function on a horse.
Yeah, and I would also be like, I've been on Propecia for like 7 years.
Yeah,
I think it's just. I'm like, men need to start talking about it.
Yeah, God, like truly.
I always talk about it. I'm fixated, so I talk about it too much. But like, one day I will go to Turkey.
Yeah, you have funny tweets about it too, where like sometimes you just kind of like say where you took your Propecia that day. I think.
Yeah.
Like just took my Propecia in a Dunkin' parking lot. Yeah.
No, I'm like, no one wants to talk about it, and it's I talk about it on my podcast a lot, and I get messages from people. A lot of women have messaged me being like, my husband or boyfriend, I want them to take it, but they're like nervous about it. And I'm like, come on.
I mean, it's got the side effects, but it's you just
yeah,
stop.
but that's not. I don't want to get.
Yeah. And you should take.
There's
like,
a conspiracy.
The other thing is, you have to take it before like it keeps it more than it regrows it. So you like the earlier you take it, the better.
But now they have finasteride and minoxidil, which is minoxidil regrows it. So if you take them together.
I think it somewhat regrows it, but I think it's exaggerated.
Eli?
This is just full bald chat. But
wasn't minoxidil the thing in the Simpsons episode that actually works? Wasn't that like the fake drug that they?
It's
like,
Rogaine. Rogaine is minoxidil.
Oh, is that just? Oh, okay, maybe that's what it is.
But yeah,
I didn't know the generic name.
There is some higher power.
Demoxenil. Okay, demoxenil. But so it was just a play on Rogaine.
The gentlemen, the observers. Apparently, me being bald is central to a timeline because it has been. I did because the one with the finasteride or whatever. That's the one where it's like it can have sexual side effects and you have to stop like right away or else it can be permanent. Mm-hmm. And like, not to overshare, or like the podcast was like that. I was like, I noticed. So I was like, oh, I have to stop. And then I went to like, oh, go to Turkey, and they're like, you have the kind that doesn't. We can't do it. We can't fix it. It's just like, all right, this is Rome will fall, apparently, if I get a goddamn head of hair again. So,
it's going to be important.
Whatever. My head looks fine.
The sun is going to somehow glint off and like blind an assassin in a key moment, and he's going to miss the shot.
Yeah.
It's hard. You look hard, which is cool.
Yeah. People are scared by me.
Yeah.
I think having a tiny dog has really helped a lot more people talk to me unprompted now. Yeah, but it's nice. I have a good head. I don't have those weird folds on the top. When some people have they look like a piggy bank.
You rock. You make it work. So that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't really have the rolls in the back. Yeah, you have a good head for it.
Well, these that's why I do think this is like the funniest part of this to me is that they're literally like rubbing their hair off from breakdancing.
Yeah, I mean apparently because there's like there was a whole like if you wear a hat too much, it'll make you go bald and stuff too. Right? There's all these like sort of unclear whether there's any basis at all for it. But this
you can rub it off. Ryan Reynolds gave himself a bald spot for that movie where he was stuck in a coffin and that nobody watched. He rubbed off some of his hair in there. But when I wasn't ready to accept my bald, I thought for a second that because it's right on the vertex of my scalp, I thought it was from how I laid in bed and because my head was rubbing against the wall all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
He says he rubbed off his hair shooting that movie.
Gave himself a bald spot, and he had to be in the coffin 20 hours a day or something stupid, and then no one saw the movie.
I saw it.
The privilege of that, the follicle privilege, to be like, I'll just do this.
Yeah, man, that movie. That movie's something. So apparently. Yeah, a 2023 study of 142 breakdancers reported those who practice head spins more than 3 times a week were much more likely to suffer hair loss. So, I guess, these guys spinning on their heads, are they're at risk.
Yeah.
And they should be.
I'm worried.
Aware of it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's. Does the hat help? I don't know.
Helmet.
Throw like a slouch beanie on there or something.
I feel like the helmet would be too
helmet.
Slick. You wouldn't be able to control your rotation, your axis.
Oh yeah, this is weird. Okay, this guy, they did like a study with one breakdancer in particular, and they took an MRI. He had a little bump on top of his head. They took an MRI. They removed the growth. They analyzed it, and then he trained. The various, he was basically tracking the bump, and in the last 5 years, a marked increase in the size of the bump. The MRI showed considerable thickening of the surrounding skin, tissue, and skull. So
he's evolving.
Yeah, he's got a callus. Well, it's like Wesley Willis,
he's becoming harder to kill.
Who's that wrestler guy who cut his head so many times he has like a unicorn horn?
Oh, not Wesley Willis, because that was the
no. That's one guy.
guy.
The other, this is another guy. His name's like Shamu or something. One of those really shitty names they used to give wrestlers.
Sabu,
maybe Sabu.
He has a unicorn horn.
He used to cut his forehead all the time, and he has like this chitinous horn. How are we? Yeah. Where's Kath to know about?
Kath would know this. Yeah. I mean, he all the pictures I have, because he used to wear the because he was like vaguely Middle Eastern was his character. I guess he probably is still wrestling.
Maybe I'm thinking of New Jack.
You're probably thinking of New Jack. That sounds more likely. He did not have a he had like a protective thing on his. Oh yeah, I can see it here. Yeah, definitely. That's who you're thinking of as New Jack.
Yeah. He's got like a plate now. He's got like a kind of protective shell. I put a photo on the chat for everyone to see.
He's like an ankylosaurus. He's like he's got
Whoa.
Got kind of like a rock steady bebop thing going.
Damn. God.
So yeah.
Wow.
He did pass away. So
I'm not. He doesn't crapping on him. I think it's
no, but he doesn't currently have it. He had it until 2021, I guess.
And then he passed.
He did, yeah.
Damn. Well, R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P. So that's so if you're breakdancing, just keep in mind there's risks associated with your head may get stronger and your skull harder to penetrate, but you might lose your hair in the process. And I think that's
not worth it.
Trade-off you have to consider. Maybe you take the head spin out of your repertoire. I don't know how key that is to.
But I could just strengthen my skull with no sacrifice.
Yeah.
I could get a really strong head.
You should, yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep everybody updated.
I'll call you Skull Uden.
Yeah. I'll take it. Number 1.
And this week's number 1 reason to say what a time to be alive.
Number 1 this week comes to us from Piki Hatsune Miko Binders. Just a real leviathan of a name in the Discord. And this is a story from an aquarium in Shenzhen, China. And this is so they were advertising big news. This zoo has gotten a giant whale shark or a giant shark. Everyone was excited to go see. It's a whale shark, so it's the world's largest fish, capable of attaining over 60 feet in length. Then they showed up to see it, and it is, I would say, quite clearly a robot. It's kind of just like not even a particularly convincing. It's very clearly like a metal frame with, like a neoprene wrapped around it, swimming around. I don't think it even.
Expecting this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it floats or... Okay, no, they have a picture of lowering it in with a crane, which I would have tried to control, the picture of us lowering it in with a crane. Yeah, so people are demanding refunds.
There's very clearly like a seam on top of it. That's not... You don't want anyone to see that.
Yeah.
Can you send me those?
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat. Unfortunately, it's the New York Post, who we've had to have a begrudging readership of because a lot of our stories come from there. So yeah, it's in there. People are complaining. Somebody said the most disappointing part was the whale shark exhibit, quite clearly because it was a mechanical whale shark, and he said it's not interesting at all. Which that I don't think is fair. I think it's kind of interesting. It's just not a shark.
How are they controlling it? What's is someone driving it? Like how does it work?
Someone inside it?
I think it's probably RC. Yeah, there's a guy. It's
That'd
Shark
be cool.
Boy.
Man, there's so much of this. I mean, maybe this is just the one of those like over coverage things. There's so much of this like weird, like fakery in Chinese zoos and animal parks.
Yeah,
there were like the dogs that were spray painted to pretend to be pandas. Like, come on,
Whoa.
man.
I remember that. And they're always like, they just got to get you in the door because weren't the dogs who they like spray painted dogs to look like pandas. And then, like, the reason everybody figured out, if I remember right, was everyone's like, they're doing dog stuff. They were just like very clearly like carrying sticks around in their mouth, and
And then there was like, as a result of this kind of thing, there was that there was like the sun bear that everyone was like convinced was a guy in a suit, but it was just an actual bear because it just looked like it had it was just standing up and had like a weird like Hank Hill ass with like kind of like looked like a suit like ripples in it, but it was that's just the bear, man. It would be too hot.
Yeah, no, some bears just look insane. That's so like I get it, but they're like they stand so weird. They're always like they stand like they're like behind you, behind somebody at a coffee shop that's like taking too long to order, and they have somewhere to be where they're just kind of like sort of leaning. Is this a picture of a sun bear? Yeah.
This is the stance where it's like that's a guy. That's not an animal.
Yeah, it does look very much like a guy. And they have the crazy long tongues too. They're just like horrible looking. No offense to some bears.
Well, if you see the tongue, you're like, all right, that's a real animal because you can't fake something like that. But I mean, you see this thing stand like that, and it looks like he's talking to the people.
Yeah,
it looks like he's giving a little speech. Like this is a guy.
What is
coming out?
What is the point of that? That whale shark thing is so fucked.
Well, all these people came, and then they were like trying to say they're like, you should
know. Yeah, you get like one round of ticket sales, and everyone's like, "This is fake. I'm not coming back here."
Wait, so they were like, "This is your fault for coming."
Yeah. They say that. So their claim, and this is in Zhaomisha, or that's the name of the zoo, aquarium, whatever. They've said that it was never the intent was not to catfish visitors, but to adhere to laws banning the trade of whale sharks. So they were like, well, you should know it's illegal for us to have a whale shark, so we built one.
So we made a fake one. So now there's this weird thing swimming around with actual living beings and confused. Yep. That is so fucked up.
Also, apparently there's also notes from people that were like, I went there and the shark was fake. Also, all the other fish are really sick. There's a guy.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Somebody said, most people wouldn't notice, but anyone who's kept tropical fish knows that's white spot disease. Some of the fish didn't appear to be in good health.
So they're just
so good.
So there's like this hunk of metal just like trolling the depths of this giant tank while these creatures succumb to cholera.
Yeah,
I love the idea of flipping it around, being like, actually, we can't have a whale shark. So what are we supposed to do? Not have anything? It's like, yeah.
Like, very classic fallacy here, where that's basically the argument they've said, where they're like, well, what do you want? It's either a fake whale shark or a real whale shark, which is cruel and illegal. And we're like, no, just don't do any of this. Just don't.
That is so
just
weird.
hope people come to see your sick fish.
That's like when Russia started getting like. All these brands started pulling out of Russia. They launched a Starbucks called Stars, a fake Starbucks.
Oh yeah, they just cut it off.
Stars coffee. So this robot is giving stars.
Mm-hmm. There's that was like, I'm not going to go into it. We're already running long. There was a whole like Coca-Cola and Germany in World War II had like a very weird relationship where they were like, we're not going to let them make Coca-Cola. And that was like maybe why Fanta was invented. So anyways, that's just a fun deep dive. I did also post a photo in the chat of the shark being lowered, which is a photo in which you can see how shitty it is. Like there are very visible seams. On
that's
this.
Wild.
Like this is less well constructed than most of the toys I've bought for my dog. They would be like dangerous to the dog because they'd be like, this will just be pulled apart.
It's like a more poorly applied wrap than like what you see on like the dumbest Cybertruck in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I see a lot of those.
I'll bet. I saw a Boost Mobile branded one when I was
my God.
Pretty cool.
Getting pulped by the Mint Mobile Cybertruck. Your last moments. Staring at that fox's face. Also, I know this is bad that I'm like not, like aware of the world and thing of it. I always forget about like the censorship in China until I have to read the name of a social media platform they use and remember that they don't have like Twitter. Because that's that. Like all these posts are from the social media platform Zhahongshu. And I'm like, what? Oh, right. Terrible censorship.
And it has like 300 million daily users like that, and just there's a whole universe that we have no sense of.
Parallel
gotta
reality.
watch clips from Bilibili instead of Twitch and all this shit. So so China's zoos are, just don't
sick fish.
Can you imagine if somebody tried that shit here? Like what? Like that? That is so. It's so crazy.
The outrage.
Even the dogs, even just spray painting the dogs. Oh, we got pandas. It's like, they're really small and they're not really, they're just kind of, they seem like dogs. Like, nah, man, these are pandas. I don't know.
They're acting exactly like
we're in
dogs.
China. We know what's going on.
Yeah.
You think we don't know pandas?
Also, one final little detail here that's fun is, so this was, this zoo I keep saying zoo, but what is an aquarium if not a wet zoo? So let's just move past it. It reopened following a 5-year renovation. So like closed for 5 years.
Oh my God.
Ostensibly to build this robot shark. And then they opened and they were like, people walked in and they were like, you had 5 years and this is filled with sick fish and a metal shark. What were you doing?
What if the water is also fake somehow?
Yeah, it's just someone rattling a gel, like it's like a
chlorine.
Yeah, like one of those fake tiki torches. It's just all suspended. It's all Sprite because Sprite is cheaper than water or whatever.
It's also kind of punk rock though of them.
Yeah,
So
Honestly, if they just said
I'm
like,
kind of
come see a
into it.
robot shark.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'll go.
Yeah.
We look, guys. We know we can't get a whale shark 'cause that's not allowed. We built one. Come check it out. Like
Yeah.
right. Maybe don't put it in a tank with other
No,
fish.
keep it separate. But I've never seen a robot whale shark, so I'm like, I want
Right.
to go.
It's
I wanna lock eyes with it.
big. Whale sharks are big.
Yeah.
The description from the panda dogs is really funny, actually, and I have to respect it. This is a zoo rep. The explanation, the quote
Zoo
is
press secretary.
There are no panda bears at the zoo, and we wanted to do this as a result. It's just like, you know what?
They're transparent.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
We wanted pandas, and we didn't have any pandas.
Yeah,
They're
we
pretty
couldn't get
rare.
any pandas.
We
and,
made it
you know,
work.
right.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, goofy dogs, as long as they're not hurting them or anything,
No.
Flopping around, I guess. That's not so bad.
The sick fish thing is freaking me out, and I need them to be saved. I don't know. I guess there's no saving fish once they get sick, right?
Well, like it's a horse.
I don't think we have a lot of tools in
Yeah.
the toolkit for that. Yeah.
Just taking a fish and dropping it behind a shed and shooting it. It's like already
put it-
dead.
Once it's
Put it
happening,
in like an antibiotic tank.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, for all we've said here, I'll say this is a week-long kind of opening thing. It cost $40 to go, and they attracted 100,000 people. So what's that? Like pure net, gross. What is that? $4 million?
$4 million. Yeah.
they did well.
They did well.
Not sure what kind of refunds they're going to have to give.
Yeah.
But
Some kind of
probably worth it.
laundering thing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. We just need to get that technology. We need to get the whale shark
Yeah.
technology. That's what's most important here.
If I
Please
could go
enjoy.
in and operate it, I would like it.
We can't fall behind in the global
No.
race to build a whale shark.
Please enjoy this picture of the whale shark in the water next to real fish.
God,
looking.
that is so upsetting. I can't look at that. That really freaks me out.
I want to see it move because I want to see how obviously visually, but I mean, like, does it move at all realistically? Does it like have weird are there weird folds that happen when its tail moves and stuff? Probably.
It's so funny
right?
if it just sank too. It was just on
Yeah.
the bottom, like
it's
moving.
heavy. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right.
they're heavy.
Just how deep is this tank, do you think?
It looks deep. It looks aquarium size. Like
Just
floating-
resting on the bottom.
Yeah, kind of thrashing.
It's sleeping.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like one of those kids who's like he has a fish. He's like he's in his castle, and then you're like, oh, it's dead. It's
Yeah.
dead in the castle.
this castle of pain.
He's in the
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. Put him in
Yeah.
the brazen bull. Well,
Exactly. Those were good ones, guys.
Yeah.
thank you.
One piece of breaking news. I was trying to find anything more like a video. I was on the Daily Mail quickly to see if I could find a video of the whale shark. No success. But California burger chain founded by Kevin Hart abruptly closes all locations. That's breaking news.
What was it?
Become a subscriber at patreon.com/whatatimepod for weekly bonus episodes and much more. And head to whatatimepod.com/links for our merch store, Discord, and more. Follow Patty, Kath, and Eli on Twitter and Instagram at PattyMo, at Kath Barbadoro, and at Eli Uden. And check out Kath's other podcasts, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters, wherever you get your podcasts. Here's where you can see us doing stand-up this week.
Okay.
Carey, you got anything to plug? You got your podcast.
Yeah. What's your plug? Yeah.
Yeah. You can follow me at eCareo, and then my podcast, I co-host Sex Unique podcast, so you can listen. We have a couple episodes a week. So go on over, join our Patreon, and we have
I
shows.
have to finally start watching this show. I have never seen an episode of the show. I've only followed what I've seen in the headlines. So
You don't even. You can watch a little, but just I always say the shows that we recap, because we don't just recap VPR, but they're just the jump offs. You can You can find something you like even if you don't watch what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, of course, I'm sure it's funny without the. Yeah, I imagine.
But you should. I think you would probably really enjoy Vanderpump Rules.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just know the name of her dog forever until I'm dead. Is it Gigi? Oh, Jiggy. Maybe I'm free. I was free there for a second.
Gigi.
Who was the one who kept saying she had Lyme disease and she was like always in the hospital?
Oh, Yolanda. Bella Hadid's mom.
We watched a couple of these and reviewed them for Paper Magazine, and yeah, one lady was just like always in the hospital with Lyme disease.
She's always hooked up.
Yeah, she's going Bolsonaro mode.
Yeah.
I don't have any stand-up shows coming up this week, but I forgot to plug this last week, but it was super fun. I was on an episode of Radio Free Tote Bag podcast, which it's out now if you want to check that out.
Cool.
I have nothing to plug. Listen to Carey's podcast. Follow Carey.
Thank you. It's an honor to be back.
Cut that out.